The man carved the ice into a hexagonal shape. He lifted it and examined each angle carefully. Then he placed it into the glass. Using a spoon, he spun the ice 2.5 times to coat the interior. He poured out the excess water. Next, he added whiskey as the foundation. Finally, he poured in a special soda and enhanced the aroma with lemon. With that, a whiskey highball was smoothly finished. The woman thought it was just a standard whiskey, which left her somewhat disappointed in Jack. But after taking just a small sip, a refreshing fragrance filled her senses. Instantly, all the weariness in her body seemed to vanish. Sometime earlier, the hotel where they worked had planned to open a classic cocktail bar. But with the opening approaching, they still lacked a head bartender. The 3 people before them were there to interview for the role. Yet the interviewer didn't even taste the first candidate's drink. He failed him immediately, because he served a martini without checking if the customer had eaten. The second candidate made a green zombie, but the interviewer suddenly asked him to prepare it as a layered rainbow cocktail. The bartender was caught off guard, and had to attempt it under pressure. Any professional should have been able to manage it, but he took 1.5 minutes, and the layers ended up blended, so he was also eliminated. The third candidate was a popular online bartender, but aside from his good looks, he had little else to offer. That wasn't what their bar needed. As a result, all 3 candidates failed. This left the 2 office women deeply frustrated. No matter what kind of bartender they presented, each one was rejected. The main issue was the vague standard. The president insisted on finding a bartender who could make the god's glass. Just then, a man was awakened by a ringing phone. Surprisingly, he didn't even know how to answer it. Miwa had to go over and teach him. After the man left, the 2 noticed he had left his book behind. They wanted to return it, but Jack had already disappeared. Meanwhile, the interviewer reported to the president that all 30 candidates had failed again. He asked the president to clarify what exactly were the criteria for the god's glass. The president simply said, "You'll know when you taste it." The next day, the 2 women saw a post online. The writer was a European cocktail competition champion, located near their office. They set out right away. When they arrived, they were surprised by the remote location. They had passed by several times, but never noticed a bar there. They stepped inside. To their surprise, Jack, the same forgetful man from before, was the bartender there, and his presence was completely different, as if he were another person. Just then, a customer ordered a green zombie. Jack suggested turning it into a rainbow cocktail, exactly the challenge from the company's interview. Then Jack began his work. In just 30 seconds, he finished the rainbow cocktail, with each layer perfectly distinct. The 2 women were astonished. Seeing